let's make a lasagna pasta toss. For this, you want to start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and to that, I've added 1 pound of mild Italian sausage. You can add hot if you like things hot. You also want to have a pot of water brought to a boil and salt it really well. To that, you will want to add 1 pound of radiatori, which is this. See, it looks like a little radiator. Now, once your sausage is brown, which I have also salt and pepper just a little bit. That depends on how seasoned your sausage is. We are going to add 1 medium onion that has been chopped. You want to stir that in really well and get it started on the getting translucent part before you add the next ingredient. Now that your onions are starting to get translucent, you want to add about 5 cloves of minced garlic. And you want to mix that in and let it get nice and fragrant. And your onions will continue to get more tender while your garlic is cooking and while your sausage is finishing up getting any of that little pink gone. Remember to keep an eye on your pasta. You do not want it to overcook. Now, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of dried basil. Now, if you have fresh basil, which we do not have any growing right now, it's winter, so we don't have any growing right now. But if you have fresh basil, I will often leave out the dried basil and throw in a handful of torn up fresh leaves of basil at the end. Now, I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of dried oregano, just like what I've always told you, rub the spices between your hands to release the oil. Now you have 1 cup of chicken stock. You want to add half of that. I'll show you why you're only adding half in a minute. Now you're going to use that chicken stock to basically deglaze your pan and bring up all of those brown bits off the bottom of your pan. So it will reduce to pretty much nothing. That half cup will. And it will also bring up all those brown bits off the bottom of your pan. Now we are going to add 1 24.5 ounce jar of passata. This is passata. It is an Italian tomato puree. If you can find it, I highly recommend you use it. If you cannot, then you will want to use regular tomato puree or crushed tomatoes. Passata is so much richer and sweeter, and it's just a better product. You end up with a much better end product if you use passata instead. Now you want to take the other half of your chicken stock and pour it in this bottle and shake it up. That way you can get all the residue out of there. That way you don't leave any of that behind. Now to this you want to add a couple of good pinches of salt and some good fresh cracked black pepper. And you want to bring your sauce up to a good bubble, and then you want to turn it down and let it simmer for just a few minutes. And in the meantime, your pasta is almost done, so you want to make sure that you pull out a good cupful of your pasta cooking liquid. Now you have about 1.5 cups of whole milk ricotta cheese. This is what's going to help it taste like a lasagna without all the work and layering. So now to that you want to add just a pinch of salt, because if your pasta water was properly seasoned, then you won't have to add much salt to this. But you do want to add a good little bit of black pepper. Now to this we are going to add about 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I am using the real deal Parmigiana Reggiano, but you don't have to use that. You can use domestic. If you use the green can, don't tell me. Now to this we are going to add about 1/2 of that 1 cup of starchy cooking liquid that you pulled out. We're going to add about 1/2 that cup, and we'll see if we need any more. This is to loosen it up and to make this first sauce so that it will coat your pasta. Give it a good stir and it will get looser We will see if we need to add any more by how loose it gets. So I'm going to add just a splash more because it's still a little thick. Now we are going to throw in our pound of cooked pasta. Honestly, you can use any ruffly pasta that you want to use, but radiatori actually works the best because all of that sauce gets trapped in those little grooves and makes it really good.
So if somebody can't find radiatori, then like just anything that's going to hold it.
Yes.
So like what other cuts of pasta would you look for?
Rotini.
Rotini's smart.
Anything like that is ruffly like this. In most stores these days, you can find radiatori very readily. Where years ago, it was a specialty pasta that you couldn't find easily. I actually did a little search before I did this video to help you guys out and discovered that Kroger even has it in their own brand.
Oh, do they really? So store brand even has radiatori. Okay.
And as you can see, it's coated really well, but I'm going to add just a splash more of the starchy cooking liquid to thin it out just a little bit more. Now we are going to bring our second sauce, our meat sauce, over here. Now our meat sauce is thickened a lot. It simmered for basically just the time that you were doing this. And now you're going to take a big ladle full, which will amount to about a cup, probably, maybe a little more, of your meat sauce, and you are going to toss it in with your pasta and ricotta sauce. Basically just enough to make it nice and pink. You don't want to toss all of it in there. You just want it to become nice and pink, basically. Now you want to make sure that you taste your pasta mixture to make sure you have enough seasoning in there. And like I said, if you seasoned your pasta well enough, your pasta water well enough, then you should be fine. Now let's show you how to serve this up. We have nice pasta bowls here. You can also just do it on a plate. A nice big portion of your pasta mixture. As much as you would like for your serving. You want to flatten it out a little, that way you make sure that you get your other sauce. Get enough of your other sauce on it. Now you want to scoop as much as you like of your meat sauce on top. And you want to top with some more Parmigiana Reggiano. And there's your lasagna pasta toss. All the flavors and wonderfulness of lasagna without the work of layering and the hour of bake time.
It's beautiful. Looks great. Looks great.
This is going to be to die for, and you can have lasagna any day of the week with this.
That's awesome.
So come back next time to Angela K's Kitchen, where I take you from gourmet to everyday and everything in between. God bless.
All right, folks, I ain't been this excited about a pasta dish in a long time. And that's, honestly, Angela makes great pasta dishes, but this one just seems just different level. I don't know why, it just feels that way. Beautiful look at that. Yep. And I was right. Wow. So good. So good. The simplicity of the idea baffles your mind because you're like, what was simple? What the heck? Why wouldn't I? Why? And it tastes like there was a little more to it than that. So wonderful. Fantastic bowl of pasta. Angela K knows what the heck she's doing, y'all.